Hola, I think I'm back on. Say I was having a hard time connecting. This is from GOLDENTIPS Tea, Spring Harmony Star Organic. And it does say organic, it specifies organic. I have to assume it's organic. A lot of these Darjeeling teas are grown at altitude, but not super high. So I imagine they still do have to contend with bugs and whatnot. So the fact that this one is organic probably means something. So anyway, I'm in the process of moving, so all my stuff is packed away, and I don't have my scale and a bunch of other things such as ring light. I went out to the car to look to grab it, and I was like, nah, that's too much. It's too much work. So this is the cold brew. I'm worried that it's a bit overbrewed because, like I said, I did not measure this thing properly. I was trying to get 5 grams in here, and you know, whatever. The fresh leaf, still getting over a bit of a cold, but it is definitely on the spicy side. So spicy, in fact, that I don't get much sweetness at all on the dry leaf. Doesn't mean it's not there. It just means that my nose is a bit hampered. So let's get into this cold brew. And I think after today, I have to make a final decision on what I'm going to order from the spring 2023 batch of first flushes. Definitely going to get the pearl white. That's always a favorite. As far as I'm concerned, it is the only real white tea from Darjeeling because there's no processing, right? Okay, so my nose didn't deceive me. It is super spicy. And when I say spicy, I mean like, you know, peppery notes. Definitely more of a chai type flavor. And to be fair, it is definitely overbrewed. But it's good though. There's a bit of bitterness. There's a bit of bitterness in there that I really like. Very refreshing. There is some sweetness, but it's definitely more of an undertone for sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, there's a lot of crumbs in here, brew this up. So see, this is supposed to be 5 grams, but it is not. I put way too much in that cold brew. This is maybe like 1 gram, 2 grams. I did horribly. But either way, it's still going to be enough for me to do a good sampling of these leaves. And I'm really hoping that I'm able to pull more of the sweetness out of this hot brew than what is available in the cold brew because it is overbrewed. The other thing I'm excited about is cold brewing this for a second time because, of course, then the overbrewed taste will definitely go away. I'm actually going to taste a little bit more while the water's heating. I mean, it's very refreshing. I do like it. I'm gonna definitely enjoy going through this. So I'm gonna hit this with really hot water just to wake up the leaves a little bit. Pour that off very quickly. All right. And it's starting to green up just a bit, but this particular tea, I will venture to say is much darker than some of the other Darjeelings that I've tried. It is greening up a bit though. Oh, Oh, that smells good. So it is definitely still that kind of spicy thing, but there's a distinct sort of caramel aroma or pastry, but definitely in the kind of like a brownie, you know, pastry, but not quite brownie, not that fudgy. More if it was like if it was possible to have a caramel brownie, that's what it is. And I don't mean the fudge chocolate brownies with caramel in them. No, what I mean is I don't think this is possible. But if it were possible to have a caramel brownie, that's what it is. You know, it's not like those peanut butter brownies. No. But it definitely evokes a visual of a brown, like lightly colored peanut butter colored brownie. And then and now I'm starting getting some of the fruit. So there's definitely going to be layers to this, and so I'm definitely going to. Now I also don't have my thermometer. It's another thing. So I'm going to be as judicious as I can with cooling the water temperature to get you know, like I said, to try to pull out the different flavors and the different sweetness that is clearly in this tea. Really pretty bouquet there. All right, I think it's about enough time. Boiling water. You can see the steam coming off this thing. So it's really hot water. There's some material, but again, this thing's been rattling around in my backpack for the better part of a year. Now it's really starting to get green. But still, to me, it still doesn't look like a vibrant green mixed in with some of the darker tones that I've seen in other Darjeelings. This one looks like it's just green all the way through. More of an olive green. And yeah, so what's happening is with the heat, you're getting some of that caramel pastry thing. And I think what's happening is that I'm gonna leave the top off. Is that after the heat dissipates, then you're getting some of the fruity flavors. So a bit of material in there, but again, that's completely my fault. I don't think that has anything to do with the quality of the leaf. Much darker color than some of the other Darjeelings. Again, I think that has a lot to do with the material itself. So I'm gonna call this one. Wow, what is that? It's actually darker than apple juice. It's almost, I don't know. It's really dark color. Sort of almost like brass. You know? It's different. Wow, this thing packs a punch. So maybe the cold brew definitely overbrewed. However, you know, this is not a lot of material in here. Not a lot of material at all. And I steeped it for, you know, not 30 seconds. Though it's really hot water. This thing has some bitterness. It has a real kick. There's a little bit of grassiness. The bitterness is front part of my tongue, not the back so much, not the sides, even though when I force it back there, there's like I say, it's a nice kick. I really like the kick, you know. But this thing punches above its weight. No question about it. This is a different thing. Let's see what the aroma. Oh, fruit roll up. Yeah, fruit roll up. I mean, that is sugar sweet. Oh my goodness. Strawberries. I've never smelled a Darjeeling like this. No. No. I don't think so. That is so strawberry. That is so strawberry. My goodness. That is a strawberry fruit roll up. Oh. So it's times like this. I'm going to put the top back on. Maybe I can capture a bit more of that. It's times like this that I really wish I had more of this tea, honestly, just to play around with the brewing parameters. Because I bet you at the right brewing parameters, you can probably pull out a brew that is very reminiscent of something like a fruit roll up. The cold brew right now, I taste a little bit of the fruit roll up in there. Like I said before, the sweetness is on the back end. And now that I've tasted the hot brew, now that I've smelled the wet leaf, I'm able to pick up a little bit of that fruit roll up in the cold brew. But like I said, the front kick, strong, spicy, sort of bitterness in that cold brew just overshadows it. So if you don't know that fruit roll up thing is there, you won't know it, you know. But it's there. It's but I don't get it in the hot brew. And I'm just so, I can't talk enough about how. Now the other part of this is that these are crumbs. There's quite a bit of crumbs in here, so that has something to do with it as well. But still, I mean, there's no question, man. This thing punches above its weight. All right, so I'm really excited about this. I'm going to cool this water, and without a thermometer, I really don't know what temp this is. It's definitely hotter than 100 Fahrenheit, but I don't think it's quite 120, 130. Don't judge me. Okay, it's still not quite 130, but like I said, I'm really curious to see what happens with cooler temperatures. I really want to see if I can pull out that sweetness, because it is definitely there. You just have to find it, you know, and that's some of the things I like about some of these teas, is figuring out the brewing parameters and discovering this entirely, you know, different tea that was hiding amongst the you know, various brewing parameters. So pretty amazing, you know. One of the teas that I'm very proud of is the Kenyan purple tea, because I figured out like how to brew that properly. If you don't brew it properly, it is the worst thing you've ever tasted. It tastes like medicine. It's horrible. But if brewed properly, not only does it really look pretty because the brew comes out purple, but it tastes good too. And so, you know, it's times like that you can really impress your tea friends. Like, I got this tea, but I've also really dialed in the brewing parameters. Let me show you, right? And so this is one of those teas that I think you can have a lot of fun with figuring out. What's up, Mike? So yeah, a lot of material, but again, so now that kind of sweetness is really dissipated, and it has everything to do with the water temp. I think it's too cool. So that's what the brew looks like. Looks actually lighter than the cold brew, actually. Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's definitely it's too weak. It's too weak. Oh man, that sucks. I kind of figured something like that was gonna happen. Like I said, I think this is one of those where you have to really have it dialed in. So let me see if I can up this temperature. Trying to figure this out, man. Okay, so I'm starting to get some steam off of this water. I think that's gonna be good enough. Let's see what we come up with. And what I do have is I have a watch. And so I'm going to give this thing a full minute, just because the last brew was a bit weak, and see if maybe, warmer temps, longer brew time. No, there's absolutely nothing on the aroma. And the thing that came to my mind immediately when I tasted it was dishwater. Dishwater. And I didn't want to say it because it's like a horrible thing to say about a tea, but it's exactly what it tasted like. It's just a weak brew and was not awesome. And right now on the aroma, it's just like dead. So I don't know what to do. Coming up on a minute now, and let's see what happens here. I don't think it's the case, but it is possible too that this is one of those teas that just doesn't have much longevity. Because, I mean, I did up the temperature some, and it's just dead. Like, there's just nothing coming off the leaf. I mean, a minute definitely gave it something. I mean, look at the color. It's tea in there, but I'm going to do this one more time. Without, so that's still too hot. But I definitely need warmer water though. Let's see here. How hot is this? So I think that's too hot. Man, yeah. Honestly, like I said, I do enjoy that. A tea that makes you think. It gives you a challenge, because I'm almost certain that there's a way to pull out that sweetness that's there. You just have to figure it out. So I don't know. I'm gonna try this one at 30 seconds, but I'm afraid. Let's just do a minute. Hotter temps, 1 minute, and see what we come up with. It's a very green tea now. You can see all the crumbs in there, which I'm sure plays a part in how this thing is brewing, but got to work with what we have. I love looking at that tea in the water. It looks like the color is changing. I don't know if it's going to get much darker. We're coming up on a minute now. I'm going to give it a little bit longer and see if I can maybe get it just a bit darker at the risk of over brewing. I will say this is going to be my last infusion, live anyway. I am really interested in doing this second infusion on the cold brew. I'm almost certain that I'm going to find something different with that one. For sure. It's been like a minute and a half, and I don't see the color changing at all. There's quite a bit of water too, as these leaves are opening up. Uh-oh. That was almost a catastrophe. Dishwater. It's just nothing. It's just nothing coming off the leaves. It's really disappointing. It's really disappointing. I don't know. I'll try like really hot water. Let's see if maybe. Yeah, at this point, I have to think that maybe it's just that this tea just doesn't have like any longevity. You know, that happens. You know, especially with it, like I said, having such a kick at the beginning. I mean, it just died. You know. It's nothing to it. It's just there's absolutely nothing to it. That's really disappointing. One more time. Really hot water, and then I'm gonna eat. And I think I'll drink the cold brew with lunch. Because maybe what's happening is this tea needs really high temps, and maybe it's just the first few infusions that give you that kind of dark brew. And maybe the later infusions will give you the sweetness. That is definitely possible. So this is boiling water, and it's got to be close to a minute, and I'm agitating it. And there's crumbs in here. I think maybe sometimes too, the crumbs maybe oversimplify the flavor. You know, maybe the fuller leaves will give you a more full, complex flavor. So maybe that has something to do with it too. I'm not sure. I'm curious what others have to say about that. But there are some pretty big leaves in here. It's really opened up now. Let's see it. Well, there's something coming back on the aroma. No, it's just that's just about dead. Another thing that I had to say about this is the 2022. I bought these teas last year, around the same time actually. And so, you know, there's a lot to be said about green teas being drank within the year. You know, ideally you want to refresh your green teas every year, which is, you know, what I plan on doing. So does age have to do with this? Does storage have to do with this? That's possible too. You know, it's definitely possible. But yeah, it just dies so quick. No, it's dead. It's dead. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, some of the spiciness is still there, but any sort of nice, flavor is pretty much gone now. It's only after like 2 or 3 steeps, which that's definitely not common. Does it have something to do with the fact that it's organic? Maybe it's not a robust growth rate. I don't know. Whatever it is, I'll say that out of all of the Darjeelings I've had thus far, this is, if not the worst, definitely near the top end of the bottom end of the worst. I don't have much to say about this one other than the really cool fact that, like I said, it really does punch above its weight. And at one point I was able to pull out strawberry fruit roll up, which I think honestly is still there, but I think you would have to, again, like I said, really experiment and play around with the brewing parameters to pull it out. I don't know how. I've tried what I know how to try. Again, like I said, it may happen with the second infusion of the cold brew. If it does, I'll definitely come back and say so, because that means that, I just screwed it up from the beginning as far as cold brewing this thing, because, it's just overbrewed. And so, it's very possible that it's one of those teas that has a really awesome flavor profile as a cold brew and not so much as a hot brew. I mean, that's definitely possible. So there's a lot of material in there. So, yeah. Try again. From me to you.